Hey guys, welcome back to the Inspo Pod with me, Bethany. Today I'm gonna do a relatively shorter episode, just really focusing on letting things go. Um, this podcast has been running for a couple of years now. We're now in 2026, and each year I've let a few things go as we've gone into the new year. Obviously, I'm not one for this whole New Year, New Me thing, absolute bullcrap. CBA. All the Instagram posts, new year, new me. Like, fuck off. But there is certain things I've let go of, and I wanted to share with everyone as well that I have finished with therapy. Um, I've done therapy since I think 2023 actually, could be 2023, 2024. And then that's been ongoing right up until the end of 2025. And my therapist just said, I don't think you need me anymore. Like, I'm always here if you want to reach out, if you need a couple of extra sessions, but you're good. And that was the most amazing feeling. Um, and I think along that healing journey, when you're going through the journey of therapy and like ongoing healing, you're working through your traumas, you're working through your childhood issues, you're working through current situations as well and navigating those. And every session brings up something different. It can be this week I've really struggled with this, let's work through it. Or this week everything's been good, but I want to go back to childhood and work on this. Or, I want to work on why I am this way, or, different things. Like it's always different. Every session is a different scenario and a different thing to work through. And it's an ongoing journey, right? But it all kind of like links. Like sometimes you'll be going through something in the moment and it links back to childhood and as to how you're dealing with that. And there's like links to everything. But as you're on that journey, and for some people that journey never ends. Like, I'm a big believer that do therapy for your whole life. Why not? But for me personally, the situation that I'm in with work, I'm obviously working on my own businesses and stuff, and money is tight. So it works for me at the moment to give up therapy, seeing as I've been told I don't need it, which is great. Um, so it kind of works for me at the moment, but I am a big believer in doing therapy ongoing in some capacity. So for some people, the journey never ends. But when you are on this journey, you learn different things about yourself and you also learn your boundaries. And I think one of the biggest things I was taught by my therapist going into therapy at the very beginning was boundaries. And I was struggling with work at the time. When I first started, my issues were mainly work. And I was feeling stressed. I wasn't getting on with managers. I was feeling overwhelmed. I was a difficult person to manage. And a lot of it came down to like boundaries, like having boundaries in place, stop working overtime to try and impress people. And that came from like a need to impress my mum as a child and like all these different deep things. But it was the thing that first came up was boundaries. And that has been a consistent, what would you call it? Like a consistent theme, I guess, is boundaries. Um, so yeah, that's one of the things I've learned. I think throughout the journey, those boundaries have molded and changed, and it's applied to different situations and different people. And for me personally, as I've evolved, I've set boundaries, but then had different approaches to that. So I would say through 2025, my approach was have boundaries with people. Don't make too much effort with people that don't fulfill your needs, but always be the bigger person, like always apologize, always do this, always do that, always show up. And then at least you can say, well, I tried. I did this, I tried. And then now, 2026, throughout the year that has evolved, and especially through the Christmas period, which I know can be a difficult time for a lot of people and is always a difficult time for me. I quite struggle with it. This Christmas just gone was like the best Christmas I think I've had so far because I really am authentically myself. I'm content. I'm happy where I am in London. I'm happy with my house. I'm happy in my home. I'm happy with my relationships. I'm happy with who I am. I love the relationship I have with myself. And I feel confident in myself. So I think that really makes a difference. And because my nervous system is more regulated than it's ever been, it's allowed me to deal with a busy, stressful period in life with a greater sense of control and a greater sense of like when your system is regulated, you can regulate your emotions and your reactions, and you can be very calm and deal with things better. So it has been the best, it was the best Christmas period I've had of my life, probably. That being said, it was still difficult. So back to boundaries. 2026, my thing is no longer being the bigger person and showing up, but now just not even engaging in people that don't. I've always thought be the bigger person, do this, do this, do this. And I've got to a point where certain people in my life, and maybe this is because of my healing journey, like you sometimes like kind of overtake people. And it's not to say I'm better than anyone else or, oh, look at me. It's more so that like that's where I'm at in life. And it happens quite often when you heal and you change and you grow, you leave certain people behind. Some people you meet and you think, oh my God, they must have been healed before me because they've always been great and I've been difficult and now I'm where they are. And that's nice. You're catching up with some people, but other people you end up leaving behind, and that's just life. Some people aren't ready, will never be ready, aren't prepared to put that work in. Sometimes through their own fault, laziness, they just don't want to do it. They're not that good of a person, or sometimes it's not their fault. Sometimes it's that's not how they've been brought up. They haven't got the mental capacity, they struggle with things, other people have affected them. There's, lots of different reasons, but you do find that you overtake some people and you leave some people behind. And those people you come to realize are just never gonna want to put the effort in with you, gonna want to be nice to you, gonna want to, just you come to realize like you've been trying beforehand, you've been like pushing, 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 trying, trying, trying. This person's going to like me. If I keep trying, we're going to be fine. You see them, you're in a social setting with them or a family setting, if it's a family member or whatever, and you're like, I'll spark the conversation. I'll do this, I'll do that. Conversation ends up being nice, and you're like, this is great. We're okay. Everything's good. But then when you kind of almost heal further to where I'm at now, you kind of look at that situation, you think, it was good because I put the effort in. It was good because I was the bigger person. That's great, but I don't want to do it anymore. And you kind of just leave people where they are and you just think, sometimes you have to leave people where they are for them to maybe have a shot at healing. Because if you're always there, I think, and you're always pushing and trying, what I've noticed personally, one thing I've really struggled with in life is I always try and go above and beyond. And I'm always reaching out to people in the same way I crave them reaching out to me. And quite often, when they don't meet me where I am, it leaves me feeling rejected, like sad, hurt. And then I can have like an over emotional reaction because I'm an overly emotional person anyway. And I've got my ADHD, I've got, childhood trauma, I've got these things that kind of affect how I regulate my emotions. And even though I'm more regulated, I'm still an overly emotional person. So I can have these like intense emotional reactions or like an overreaction to someone just not even texting back or not engaging or not giving me what I'm giving them. But also, what I noticed is me always being the kind person, the bigger person, being quiet, not upsetting the apple cart, not rocking the boat, always being the good guy, always trying to keep the peace, always going above and beyond, always putting the effort in. It then also becomes really easy for people to blame you for stuff. And I really used to struggle with that because it used to be like I would be the scapegoat. Like people would be like, oh, Beth's this, Beth's that. It'd be really horrible to me. And I used to think, but why? I'm really trying. And now I'm at a place where I've let that go. And I'm like, I'm not going to be that person anymore. I'm not going to be overly nice. I'm not going to put myself in these situations. Like with family members, for example, why am I paying so much money for trains and taxis to come and see people that would not do the same for me? Why am I spending a fortune on thoughtful things for people when they won't do that for me? And it's hard. It's really hard to do. Don't get me wrong. But it just comes from like a place of like moving forward to such a place where you're so at peace with yourself and so calm and confident. You don't need to be constantly putting yourself in that situation. And then it doesn't allow them to blame you anymore and like have a go at you anymore because you're not this pushover anymore. And I think that's really nice. Um, And I think a lot of people have got a lot of healing to do, and that some people will never heal, especially the older generations. I think it's almost past the point of like, you don't push to try and change them because you won't. And that's something I've definitely learned. Um, I'm just not going to do it anymore. So that's where I'm at with family, friends, all these kind of things. There's friendships I've lost over the years as well, where there's been fallouts, and there's been a couple where when I look back now with a healed mind, I can look back and I actually can see where I went wrong. And I look back and I think, I've never been a shit person, like I've never been a truly shit friend. But I'll look back and think, do you know what? That wasn't great for me. I could have done this, I could have done that. I was difficult, I was this, I was that. And it's quite nice to look back actually and reflect and be like, do you know what? I'm not perfect. These are my downfalls. And there are friendships where I have thought that. And beautifully, I've reached out to those people and been like, why did we drift apart? Why this? Why that? Or even people where I haven't done anything wrong, where I literally have just not put the effort in myself and we've drifted. And I'm like, maybe we've drifted because I didn't put the effort in. And I've reached out to those people. And you know what? I've gained a couple of beautiful friendships back from people I drifted apart from in 2025. And I've regained those friendships where I've looked at those people and thought, they're people I really do want in my life. Like, I really want that friendship. And that was maybe on me. But then there are other friendships where we've fallen out, and I'll look back and think, do I really want I'll think, oh, maybe I should make up with this person. I've lost a few friends, like maybe I should. And I look back and I think, right, I did everything I could in that scenario though. And then I'll also think, do I really want that person in my life? Like, do they bring anything to my life? Do we align? Do our values align? Do our interests align? Do all these different things align? And I'll think, actually, not really. I'm just wanting them because I want more friends and I want more people in my life and I want this and I want that. And like, I feel bad and it's all the wrong reasons. So I've learned to kind of be like, do you know what? Some friendships are okay to let go of. So I've really come to a place of kind of letting certain family members, certain friendships, even colleagues, even workplaces as a whole, like places that to work, I've let them go. And I'm like, if it doesn't align with my soul or where I'm at, it's okay to let it go. And I just think the world is such a big place with so many millions of people and so many different jobs you can do that you can go from some people choose to be a stripper, some people choose to be a lawyer, some people choose to be a nurse. There's such a breadth of jobs and such a breadth of like careers and like avenues. And the world would not be what it is without all of these different varieties. If everyone was an academic and they all went on to be mathematicians, scientists, and lawyers, the world would be fucking boring. If everyone quit their jobs and decided to be a stripper, nothing would get done. Like, everyone can't be the same. Everyone can't do the same thing. There's so many options, and we live in such a world full of opportunity, and you can literally create your own opportunities. I'm a full believer in manifesting and creating your own path, right? So, with that in mind, I don't believe in staying somewhere where it doesn't align with you unless there's a necessity in the here and now and it's temporary. And I think in season one and season two, actually, I spoke with a friend, Charlotte, who is an amazing businesswoman. She works really hard, she does really well for herself. And we spoke on both episodes about the Golden Triangle. And the Golden Triangle was, if I can remember it rightly, I think it was like fulfilling your soul. So something that aligns with like your soul, that kind of thing. Money, like financial gain. And I think the other one was like training or like it's progressing you to another step. And really, a job has to fulfill two of those to be worth your time. Um, so sometimes you'll be a job that's not aligned with your soul, but you're earning a lot of money from it and you're saving up for something. And it's a necessary step in your career. It's a necessary step to get where you want to be. So that scenario is okay. That's where I'm like, cool, because you've got a goal, it's a process, right? You've got a goal, it's paying your bills, it's helping you in some way, it's progressing you to where you really want to be. That's different. But I think because the world is so big and so vast and there's so many opportunities, don't stick with things that don't align with your soul. Like, you don't need to, unless, as I said, it's getting you somewhere, like it fulfills those two points of the triangle. Um, And really, where we all want to be is like all 3 points, right? You're making money, you're progressing, and you're aligned. That's the goal. Um, but yeah, basically, long story short, I just think, why do we stick at things? Why do we stick in relationships? Why do we stick in friendships? Why do we stick in family relationships? Why do we stick in jobs that we fucking hate? Like, why? Why do we do it? Let it go. And that's really where I'm at. Um, and I think a takeaway of this, I think my advice would definitely be, I think my advice for everyone, I think I've said this before, is to do therapy always. Like literally do therapy. Use BetterHelp. Like I've never used BetterHelp myself, but if you're really struggling with where to start, I've looked at that and I think it really does look like a convenient and good option. So that would always be my first advice to everybody listening. But I think aside from that, if you don't want to do therapy or whatever, and you want to figure it out on your own, like try and get yourself to a place of emotional regulation, nervous system regulation, and just like peace with who you are and where you're at. And when you get there, you just won't engage in these things anymore that you don't need. And even if you haven't got there yet, I would advise everyone to sit down, especially in a new year. New Year's a really good time to do this kind of thing. Sit down and write a list of all the things in your life, good or bad, your job, your friendships, your hobbies, your housemates or your family or all of your family members, your relationship, whatever it could be, just write down everything in your life and then just have a think about, does that align with who I am right now? Does that align with who I want to be? What do I gain from this? And it's not that you have to be a taker. It's not like, oh, that family member, what do I gain from them? They don't really give me anything, so I'm going to cut them off. It's more like, what do I gain from this in terms of like, is this a fulfilling relationship? Is it a two-way relationship? And if not, is there a good reason for that or not? Because sometimes a family member might have dementia or they might be seriously ill and they can't give you what you give them. And that's completely different. That's like you want that relationship with that person, they can't give you what you need, but they would if they could. And that's very different. And that's where you then have to step up and you then have to put the work in. And that's where it becomes beautiful and it becomes rewarding because you're giving more and it's for a good reason. And it would be the same if it was the other way around. But if you're not gaining anything from that relationship and they're not giving any effort, they're not nice to you, every time you're around them, you feel crap, your energy gets low, and they wouldn't give you the effort you give, cut it off. You don't have to fully cut it off, step back, call less, visit less, whatever that may be. But you really need to look at that list of everything in your life and see what you gain from these things, what aligns with you, what nourishes you as a person and what doesn't, what gives to you and what takes away from you. Like they always say in a relationship, if you're in a relationship with someone and it takes from you and your energy's depleted, your energy gets lower when you're around them, your mood gets lower, you get sadder. I don't know, maybe you're with someone that takes your money, like you're always the one spending, but you're also always the one doing the housework. You're also always the one doing the emotional regulation and giving the emotional, you know, input to the relationship. You're always doing the emotional labor. That person's just taking. But if you're in a relationship where every time you're around them, you get happier, your energy goes up, they make you feel alive, they make you have energy. You might give something more than they do. Maybe you pay for everything, but they make you really happy and they give acts of service instead. Or maybe you're the person that brings the happiness and showers them with love and affection and meets their needs, and they pay for everything. As long as there's a give and a take, and as long as your energy is going up when you're with them and not down, that's important. That's what's important. And I really believe this is such a silly theory. I don't know if anyone else believes this, but I really believe in the radiator theory. So I've heard this a few times and I was like, what the fuck is this about? But I've been told that, like, I can't remember how to word it exactly. So when you're around people, there's like an energy giver and an energy taker. So, like, some people are radiators, right? And they give energy, and some people take the energy. I'm not explaining this well. But anyway, hear me out. So sometimes you can be around someone that's an energy taker and like you've got high energy and they will suck the life out of you. And then sometimes you can be around people that give you energy. And I've noticed this in myself. Like I can wake up in the morning super tired and low energy. And certain people, the minute I speak to them, the minute I'm around them, my energy goes up. And I could have just woke up feeling low energy and feeling shit. And I'll see them and I'll feel awake again. They're like a cup of coffee. They're like a gorgeous cup of coffee. I see that person, I'm around them, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the warmest hug in a cup. This is the warmest cup of strong coffee ever. Like, this person gives me life. And you forget that you're tired. And then other people drain the fuck out of me. Like, sometimes I can wake up high energy and I'll be around that same person and be like, oh my God, now we're really hyper because we're both this like warm cup of coffee. But sometimes I can be in that hyper, happy, high energy mood and see other people and I get lower and I think, oh God, I feel tired. And people really are energy givers or energy takers. I really, truly believe that. But I also feel like people can complement each other. So someone that to me might be an energy taker could be an energy giver to someone that's not like me. Does that make sense? So I feel like there's like yin and yang, like everyone's got their person, everyone's got their people. And I know that like my people are like very hyper, high energy because that's what I am and I need that to keep the momentum. But those people might drain someone else because someone else might find it too much and like the energy's too high and it's like, whoa, I feel drained, calm. And they need calm people. I don't know. It's a whole fucking theory. It's a whole thing. Um, but yeah, I just think relationships, I think it's so good to like sit and look at them and sit and write them down and sit and like really think about who adds value to your life and who doesn't, who adds energy to your day, who doesn't. And it's okay to take a step back from people. It's okay to cut things, people, whatever out of your life, even down to like silly stuff like the gym, right? Like I have spoke to people over the Christmas period who've cut the gym out of their life and not because they want to like, put weight on and like get unfit. They're like, do you know what? Actually, I find that it doesn't work for me. What works for me is a Zumba class once a week, getting the energy up and mixing with people, and then doing yoga classes throughout the week. And that's what works for me. Good for you. You've looked at that list of things that you do in your life and you've realized I'm doing that 4 times a week. It's not benefiting me. I'm not gaining muscle. I'm not losing weight. I'm doing something wrong. It just doesn't work for me. That's something I'm not taking into the new year. That's something I'm going to get rid of and I'm going to replace it with something that does. If yoga and Zumba gives you energy and gives you that good feeling and works for you, and the gym makes you feel low and you don't want to go and like, that's okay. We're all about making life work for us. There are millions of different things in life. There are millions of jobs. There are millions of different exercises. Okay, maybe not millions, but there's so many different exercise options. There's so many different jobs. There are so many different people you can be friends with. There are so many different people you can have relationships with. Like, don't stick with things that don't align. Make life work for you. And that's the main takeaway, guys. A bit of a shorter episode today, and I know I've just basically rambled for fucking ages, but I just want everyone to like have a life that aligns for them. What aligns for me might not align for you. You might listen to my podcast because you take my advice and you agree with what I say and like things I do does align with you, but not everything's going to align. Something I say, you might think, well, that doesn't work for me actually. So make life work for you. Listen, like learn from people, take things in, listen to loads of podcasts, not just me. Listen to a variety of people and take what works for you. That's what's important. I'm not here to preach to people and be like, do what I do. I want people to take what I say, use it, learn from it, grow, and be inspired. But I also think you should be inspired by a variety of people and create a life that makes you happy because we really do only have one life. We really are on this planet for such a short time. And I just think let's just have some fun. Like, let's live life. And life's not always going to be fun. Family members get sick. I know I'm going through that at the moment. Money is tight. I'm going through that at the moment. I know what I want to do for work, but I haven't figured it out yet. Like, it's a progress. Like, some days I work in a place where it's really fucking shit and people are really rude. Life is not perfect, but we can take that and we can mold it and we can make it as beautiful as we can for ourselves and what works for us. And we can also control how we react to things and we can also control where we put our energy. And that's what this is all about. So I hope someone listening to this has taken something from that and has been inspired to cut someone out of their life. No, I'm joking. To cut people out if they need to let go of things that they're doing that they don't need to do anymore, to let go of habits that don't align with them or don't serve them anymore. And I also hope it's helped someone like gain something, you know? And like maybe take on a new hobby, maybe go and find friends that do align. Do you know what I've done this year? Just to end on this note, or last year, sorry, 2025, towards the end of the year, I joined a WhatsApp group through TikTok, really random, went on TikTok, was looking at raves. I love a rave. I love drum and bass. I love house. And I have friends that I can do that with. But last year, one of the best things I did was go to a rave on my own. And it was scary and I didn't really want to go. And I was also hungover, which didn't really work. Got there, had the best day of my life, and actually have gained one of the best friends from it. Like someone that's like actually a really big part of my life at the moment. And I had the best time. I really learned a lot about myself and really, it's honestly my favorite day of the whole year. I could actually cry. It makes me so emotional. Like, I'm actually getting teary. This is so pathetic. But it was such a big day of my year, like for my soul, for my growth, for my confidence, but also just for the memories. Like, the actual day was just sick. And from that, I realized that, yeah, I want to let go of people. Yes, I'm at this healing point where I'm letting go of things that don't align. I'm cutting out people that don't put the effort in with me. But I also want to gain things. And as much as I'm happy with my friendships, I love my friends and I've got friends I can do stuff with. I also want more friends to go raving with because I really enjoy that part of life. For me, music and events and raves and things are just so, I've realized that's my happy place. And if I didn't have that, that's a part of me that I would really miss and I would really, that's a part of me that I need to keep hold of. So I joined this, I went on TikTok, looked at some raves, looked at some communities, found this community, joined the WhatsApp group with like 1,000 people in, and like put a few messages in there, looked for a few people, like saw the messages that were coming in from other people, and I directly messaged, connected with a few girls in London and Manchester, which is the two places I like to go out, and just like initiated a friendship and said, like, what raves are you into? Like, because I want to get more friendships in that world or friendships with people that do that as well as do normal things. So that's something I'm taking to like 2026 and something that I've been really proud of because it's not just about cutting things out, cutting people out. It's also about gaining. Like, look at what you want in your life. What aligns with you? What do you need more of? So anyway, I'm rambling, but I really hope someone's been inspired by this. And I just think any time of the year, it doesn't have to be New Year. Sit with a list, write a list of what aligns with you, what doesn't. Look at everything in your life, and you can, any day of the week, any week of the year is a time to make a change. Cut something out, gain something new. Whatever you want to do, just keep progressing to a life that aligns with who you are, because that is the only thing you can be in this life, is be yourself. You're not here to live for anyone else. You're not here to give yourself to people that don't give to you. You don't want to get to like 70, 80, 90 years old and think, why did I do all of these things for other people who aren't even here anymore or who aren't even in my life? And I didn't live for myself. And that's what I want you to take away from this. So I hope everyone's having a good week. Hope you're inspired. Hope you have beautiful friendships, beautiful relationship, or if you're single, a beautiful relationship with yourself. You should have that anyway, if single or not. Um, I hope you all have great workouts, great raves, just whatever makes you happy. And tune in next week for more inspo, more absolute fucking rambling. I will just give a couple of Christmas icks before we go. People that count the Yorkshire puddings and the pigs in blankets and don't let you have more than two. Who are you and why are you doing this to yourself or anyone else? fucking eat what you want. Fucking eat them Yorkshires. I'm actually gonna have a mini Christmas dinner tonight, even though we're way past Christmas. I had some pigs and blankets in the freezer, and I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna get some Yorkshires, some gravy, some broccoli, and some carrots. And I'm gonna make like the smallest, most pathetic Christmas dinner ever. But I love pigs in blankets. I love Yorkshires. Why not? So that's an ick of mine. Like, why are you restricting? Like, fuck off. I'm gonna have 10 Yorkshires. If I want 10 Yorkshires, I'm gonna have 10 Yorkshires. If I want 10 pigs and blankets, I'll fucking eat them. You think I won't eat them? Watch me. Watch me. Um, and another ick is like people in families that watch TV when they've got their family around and like don't want to talk. Why are you not communicating? Talk to me. Talk to each other. Actually have a conversation. Honestly, it's oh my God, it fucking annoys the hell out of me. It really fucking does. It really does. Um, and then final ick, not Christmas related, not New Year related, but men on tubes or trains don't give up their seats for women unless they've got valid reason, obviously. Especially when people are traveling. So over the holiday period, obviously a lot of women are carrying pushing pushchairs or carrying suitcases, and men just don't give up their seats anymore. And I'm like, I'm sorry. You're moaning about a loneliness epidemic. You're moaning about being single, but you have no chivalry. And I've seen a couple of men do it, and I honestly wanted to be like, thank you. You're amazing. I had a guy offer to me as well, and I was like, no, I'm okay. And he was like, no, no, please, please, please. And I was like, no, I'm okay. And he was like, okay, as long as you're all right. That, this is why the bar is so low, guys. Like, that was like, I was like, oh my God, so nice of him. That should be the fucking norm. We shouldn't be going, oh my God, that's so nice. Like, it's bare fucking minimum. Anyway, ick, 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 ick. Have a lovely week, everybody, and tune in next week. Love ya.